Alright, settle in because we're not just scratching the surface today. We are going deep. You've asked for it, and let's be honest, the sheer number of capes in Albion Online can make your head spin faster than a dual dagger EQE combo. From the humble city cape to the exotic whispers of Brecilien and the raw power of an Avalonian weave, every single one has a purpose, a niche, or a way to royally screw over your opponent, or yourself if you pick wrong. Ever wondered if there's a cape that can literally put enemies into a lava puddle, or one that lets you cheat death like a budget necromancer? What about a cape that turns you into a walking trap, or one that just gives your mana bar a second life? Well, they all exist, and in Albion 2025, knowing the difference between a sandstorm and a fey barrier isn't just trivia, it's the key to unlocking your build's true potential, dominating your content, and maybe, just maybe, affording that next tier of gear. So grab your pork pie, because this is the ultimate cape codex. Somewhere in the video, I'll tell you what cape is the best choice for each activity in the game. Make sure to watch until the end so you don't miss it. Forget top 3. Today, we're dissecting every cape in Albion Online. We'll cover the standard city capes, the game-changing Caerleon Cape, all 5 of the classic faction capes, the mystical Brecilien Cape, the powerhouse Avalonian Cape, and even the sneaky new Smuggler Cape. We'll look at their abilities, the actual ability names, not just what we call them in Discord, their best uses in PvE, PvP, Gathering, ZVZ, the Mists, you name it. This is your one-stop shop for cape knowledge, updated for 2025 and all the lovely chaos recent patches have brought. Now, compiling this encyclopedia of haberdashery takes a monumental effort. Think Red String Conspiracy Board, but for capes. If you appreciate this level of detail and you want to see more deep dives into Albion's mechanics, please consider hitting that subscribe button and ringing the notification bell. It's free for you, but it means the world to the channel. And if you're feeling particularly generous and want to fuel future expeditions into the Albion Wiki and keep this old soldier supplied, there's a donation link in the pinned comment. Every bit helps, and I'm immensely grateful for your support. Right, let's get to it. No more delays. Quick refresher for anyone new or forgetful. Capes have tiers up to 8. Enchantment levels, 0.1 to 0.4, boosting power and quality normal to masterpiece for slight stat increases. Higher tier, quality and enchantment mean a stronger version of the cape's unique ability and better base stats. As always, balance cost with effectiveness. A tier 4.1 city cape is often a fantastic starting point before you invest in the big league. These are your workhorses, available in every royal city and relatively affordable. Each offers a distinct, useful proc, the Lymhurst Cape. Its ability, Energy Reserve, triggers when you cast a spell, and as your energy dips below 40% as a result, Energy Reserve grants you a significant mana regeneration boost for a few seconds. If your build chews through mana like a starving direwolf, think frost mages, healers, axes, spears, this is your lifeline. Essential for sustained PvE farming and longer fights where mana is your bottleneck. It won't save you from a gank directly, but it'll keep your engines running. Good for frost staffs, curse staffs, holy staffs, axes, spears, some mana-intensive melee. Thetford Cape, the budget AoE enhancer. Its ability, Chain Lightning, fires off a bolt that jumps between multiple nearby enemies when you deal direct auto-attack damage. It has a cooldown, but it's a solid damage increase for clearing packs of mobs in dungeons, open-world farming, or even adding a bit of multi-target pressure in small-scale PvP. Great for builds that lack inherent cleave, like many single-target melee or ranged options. Good for axes, swords, daggers, spears, crossbows, fire staffs, for even more AoE. The Fort Sterling Cape. Its ability is untouchable, and when you get hit by a crowd control effect, stuns, roots, silences, it cleanses it. This is the Get Out of Gank Free card. Invaluable for gatherers, anyone venturing into red or black zones, and crucial in many PvP scenarios to escape lockdowns or reposition. Some PvE bosses also have nasty CC, making it situationally useful there too. Good for gatherers, almost any build in PvP, solo players in dangerous zones. The Martlock Cape provides Shield of Protection. When your health drops below 25%, you gain a shield increasing your defense by 50% for a few seconds. This can negate a massive incoming hit or give your healer a crucial second to save you. It has a longer cooldown, so timing and luck play a part. Often seen on tanks or bruisers who expect to take big hits or even squishier builds in PvP trying to survive burst. It's less effective against sustained damage over time, but can be a lifesaver against nukes. Good for tanks, maces, hammers, bruisers in PvP, builds vulnerable to burst. The Bridgewatch Cape unleashes a sandstorm at your feet when you cast a spell. This swirling vortex slows enemy movement speed and lowers CC resistance of enemies within its radius. Primarily a PvP tool for kiting, area denial, or helping your group secure kills by bogging down targets. Less impactful for solo PvE clear speed compared to Thetford or Lymhurst, but for ranged builds that need to maintain distance or in coordinated group play, it's a solid control option. Good for kiting builds, bows, frost staffs in PvP, support roles in group PvP, some melee builds wanting to stick to target. And now the Caerleon Cape. Its ability is called Opportunist, but everyone knows it as the Reset Cape. When you cast your weapon's first slot ability, it instantly resets its cooldown. This opens up devastating burst combos and high-skill plays, allowing you to use your most useful weapon's skill twice in quick succession. It doesn't have a long cooldown itself and is generally more expensive. A favorite in PvP for assassins and burst damage dealers, not for the faint of heart or the shallow of pocket, but incredibly potent when mastered. Good for high burst PvP builds, cursed staffs, some quarterstaffs, fire staffs, crossbows. These capes are inspired by different mob factions you can see all over the open world and also dungeons. They offer powerful, distinct abilities. The Demon Cape aligned with demonic forces. Its ability, Opening to Hell, triggers when you perform an auto attack. It creates a lava pool at the target's location that deals damage over time. This is fantastic for damaging down grouped-up mobs in PvE or in PvP for bursting, a stunned or rooted players, or following up AoE combos. A very strong damage cape. Good for AoE PvE farming, group PvP, some solo PvP setups. The Heretic Cape. Its ability, Devious Trap, activates when you cast your shoe slot ability. You drop 3 traps down your feet that lasts up to 5 seconds. When an enemy steps on it, they take damage and are rooted in place. This is a fantastic defensive and control tool, especially in PvP. You can use it to peel for yourself. It requires some foresight to use effectively, but a well-placed trap can be a death sentence. Good for PvP, solo and group, kiting, defensive play, objective control. The Keeper Cape. Its ability, Berserk, triggers when you take damage and fall below 70% health. It significantly increases your damage output for a short period. It's a no-risk, high-reward cape that can turn the tide of a fight if you can survive the incoming damage. Popular with dual swords and some daggers in both PvE and PvP who want to go out swinging or benefit from the increased damage. Good for sword builds, axes, swords, maces in PvP. Some tanks in PvE for threat damage phases. Builds that can capitalize on constant damage. The Morgana Cape. Its ability, Mark of the Raven, activates when you cast your weapon's E, reduces your cast times, and increases your attack speed by 50% for a few seconds. This makes it excellent for builds that rely heavily on auto attacks or have 0-second cooldown spells with short cast time, significantly ramping up their single target damage. Great for shredding bosses in PvE or focusing down key targets in PvP. Good for auto-attack focused builds, bows, spears, some daggers, war gloves, boss fights, single target DPS in PvP. The Undead Cape. Its ability, Vanisher, triggers when you take damage and fall below a certain health threshold, 15%. You become invisible for several seconds, allowing you to escape, reposition, or re-engage on your own terms with a penalty of dealing less damage and reduced healing abilities. A very popular cape for survivability in PvP, especially for solo players or those in slippery builds. It can also be used to drop aggro in tricky PvE situations. The invisibility breaks if you attack, but you can still use abilities without revealing yourself. Good for PvP survivability, especially solo small scale, escaping ganks, resetting fights. Remember, I said I'll tell you what cape is best for each activity. We are not there yet, so keep watching. Beyond the city and faction standards, Albion has some truly unique capes with distinct and powerful effects. The Brecilien Cape, hailing from the mystical city in the mists. Its ability is Fey Barrier. Activates when you cast your head slot spell. You gain a shield that absorbs a significant amount of damage. While the shield holds, you are also immune to purges. This makes it incredibly strong against purge-heavy teams in PvP and provides a solid defensive cooldown. It's a bit more of a commitment due to the need to cast your head slot ability, but the protection is substantial. Good for PvP, especially against purges, builds needing a strong defensive cooldown mists content. The Avalonian Cape. Its ability, Force Pulse, activates when you perform a normal attack. You unleash a pulse of energy after half a second wind up that damages them significantly and reduces damage of all enemies that got hit. It only has a 30 seconds cooldown, which means more procs for longer fights, unlike most capabilities that proc only one time per fight. Good for PvP, PvE especially for killing grouped up mobs. And now for one of the newer additions, the Smuggler Cape. Its crest can be bought from Smuggler's Den in some parts of the Black Zone. It has the ability Hidden Vial. Activates when you use a potion, reduces the cooldown of your potion by 1 minute and 30 seconds, and the cape's effect goes on cooldown. This is huge. Imagine being able to use 2 healing potions in succession without any cooldown in between or applying 2 tier 8 poisons to dismount a tanky mount. It's still finding its exact place in the meta, but the potential is undeniable, especially for solo and small-scale content where every cooldown matters. Good for solo PvP mists, corrupted dungeons, small group PvP, situations where a free potion proc can turn the tide. Particularly strong with high-impact potions like Gigantify, Resistance, Poison, or Healing. And what about those plain Adept's Cape, Expert's Cape, etc. with no fancy city or faction name? These just offer passive stats like a bit of max energy and energy regeneration. Honestly, in 99% of situations, the utility or raw power from an ability cape, city, faction, or special will far outweigh these minor passive bonuses. They're okay for your very first hours in the game if you're flat broke, but your first upgrade goal should be a T4 city cape. Don't linger on these. Okay, that was a marathon. So with all these options, how the hell do you pick? It's still about context. This is paramount. A Boltcaster thrives with a Caerleon Cape for resets or an Undead Cape for escapes. A great nature staff healer desperately needs a Lymhurst Cape. A ZVZ tank might look at a Bridgewatch Cape for more CC or a Keeper Cape for damage. Your weapon's abilities, mana costs, and intended role dictate your primary cape synergies. Think about what your build lacks or what it wants to amplify. What are you doing? Solo PvE Fame Farm Dungeons, Lymhurst Thetford Demon Group PvE Statics Group Dungeons HCEs Role Dependent, Lymhurst Healers Mana Hungry DPS, Martlock Keeper Tanks, Thetford Demon DPS, Gathering Fort Sterling, period. Maybe Undead as a backup if you're feeling daring, solo small-scale PvP Mists, Corrupted Open World, huge variety. Fort Sterling, Undead, Caerleon, Heretic, Morgana, Smuggler, Brecilien. Depends on your build and aggression level. ZVZ / large-scale PvP. Avalonian, Demon, Keeper, Morgana, Fort Sterling. Often dictated by guild master or specific roles. Nightfall Abbey / tracking. Thetford Cape can be very interesting here. Brecilien for missed survivability. An Avalonian Cape is amazing, but losing 1 hurts. A Tier 4.1 Lymhurst is cheap and effective. Start with affordable city capes, Tier 4 flat, Tier 5.1. As you earn more silver and get comfortable, then invest in faction capes or even the high-end special capes. Don't fly what you can't afford to lose, especially in full loot zones. Are you aggressive, defensive, a control freak? Your cape can reflect that. The best advice is to try them out. Buy cheap versions, test them in different scenarios. The meta shifts, new builds emerge. What worked last patch might be suboptimal now. The Rogue Frontier update changed Outland's experience. New items like the Smuggler Cape shake things up. Be adaptable. Let's reiterate some classic blunders. The no cape, look, just don't. Basic cape addiction. Upgrade to an ability cape ASAP. Over-investing early. Tier 8.3 Demon Cape on a T4 build is overkill and a huge risk. Wrong cape for the job. Lymhurst Cape for Black Zone Gathering is a bold, usually foolish choice, ignoring cooldowns. That Caerleon Reset or Undead Vanish isn't always up. Play smart around it, not knowing proc conditions. Does it trigger on damage taken, damage dealt, spell cast? Vital info. Forgetting cast-reliant cape abilities. Brecilien and Smuggler Capes need to be manually activated as they require other spell casts to trigger. Don't just equip them and hope for the best. Smuggler Cape with no potions. It won't do anything if you don't have a potion for it to proc in your inventory. Phew, that was every cape Albion Online has to throw at you, at least for now in 2025. From the foundational city capes to the elite Avalonian and the tricky Smuggler, each one offers a unique way to augment your build. Your core city capes, Lymhurst, Thetford, Fort Sterling, are your starting point. Caerleon is for the flashy plays. Faction capes offer specialized power. And the unique ones like Brecilien, Avalonian, and Smuggler bring entirely new dimensions to combat and utility. The key is understanding your needs, your build, and the content you're tackling. There's no single best cape, only the best cape for you in a given situation. So get out there, experiment, and find what makes your Albion experience click. What's your go-to cape combination that people underestimate? Drop your wisdom in the comments below. I'm always keen to see what clever setups you're all running. If this tome of cape knowledge has enlightened you, please smash that subscribe button, share it with your guildies, and maybe consider that support link in the pinned comment. It keeps the lights on and the guides flowing. Thanks for sticking through this epic journey. Stay safe, make smart choices, and may your capes always proc when you need them the most.